Good morning, fellas, and welcome back to my prize garage. My name is Matt, and as I've been making videos on this channel, I've collected all sorts of info about game shows. So today I'll go over a bunch of facts, and I'll also share my thoughts on some of them. Alright, let's get started. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is a massively successful game show franchise, and it spawned a bunch of spin-offs and variations around the world. There's a multiplayer hot seat format, a short-lived Fastest Finger first spin-off in the UK, the US planned on turning the game into a comedy-based show, and we even nearly had a Millionaire cartoon. An animated kids show based on Millionaire was in the works in 2001. The show's original production company, Celador, would have teamed up with the American production company DIC Entertainment to make this show. Each episode would have started at the end of a fictitious game of Millionaire, where we'd see the episode's main character correctly answering the million-dollar question. Then the show would follow the winners to see how they spent their money. During their adventures, they'd stay in touch with the host through the Millionaire Studio Command Center. Frankly, that show sounds absolutely terrible, and the title they had in mind was even worse. The Adventures of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the animated series. Yup, that's a 12-word title, and yup, that's a question mark right next to a colon. Hello and welcome to The Adventures of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Knuckles, New Funky Mode, Where Are They Now? XL, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, the animated series. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't include a Jeopardy fact in this video. Final Jeopardy's been a staple of the show since the very beginning. Sort of. It was the final round in nearly every version of the show over the years, except for the 1978 revival, the all-new Jeopardy. The main game ended after Double Jeopardy, and whoever had the most money would move on to Super Jeopardy. In this bonus round, the winner is shown a brand new board that has 5 categories with 5 clues apiece. The goal is to make a bingo on the board horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. If they pulled it off, they won $5,000. But each wrong response is a strike, and if you get 3 strikes, you're out, and you just get $100 for each clue you did get right. If a contestant won multiple games in a row, each trip to Super Jeopardy would be worth more and more money. After their second win, they'd play for $7,500, then $10,000, $12,500, and if they managed to win 5 times, they'd play for $15,000 in the bonus round of their final show. So if you won Super Jeopardy every day, you would win $50,000 from that round alone. The all-new Jeopardy was cancelled in March, though, which allowed NBC to make their soap opera Another World 90 minutes long instead of 60. When the show came back in syndication with Alex Trebek, the bonus round was gone, and they went back to the final Jeopardy round that's still in place today. A couple of people have been on more than one version of Family Feud. Tyler Blevins, better known as Ninja today, won 3 games on the syndicated version of the show. In their first episode, Tyler played Fast Money, but by the time he came out, his brother Chris had already done most of the work. He scored a whopping 191 points by himself, one of the highest scores in the Steve Harvey era. Tyler came out only needing 9 points to reach the 200 threshold, and he didn't score a single point and they lost. No, of course not. He won his family $20,000 with his first answer. They went on to win Fast Money again in Game 3, but on their 4th show they lost to the Beams family. Ninja also played Celebrity Family Feud in 2019, with most of the same family members. His opponent was NFL wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, who helped Ninja set the world record for most concurrent viewers on a single Twitch stream back in 2018, by playing Fortnite with him, Drake, and Travis Scott. Ninja's family won yet again, and he and Chris went on to win Fast Money. Other than that, Joe Coy also appeared on both versions of Feud. He played alongside Boyz II Men on Celebrity Feud, then he also appeared on a special episode of the syndicated show to promote his new movie Easter Sunday. He played with his own family, and he took on Lydia Gaston, the actress who plays his mom in the movie. Deal or No Deal is a popular game show franchise around the world, and in the US, the top prize is $1 million. You know, unless I feel like making it $2 million, or $3, or 6. But even $6 million is nothing compared to the biggest prize they've ever offered. In the middle of Aaron Kraft's game, they took a break to play a lottery game for a whopping $100 million. This game was part of Hershey's 100th anniversary celebration. They invited 3 couples to Deal or No Deal, and all they had to do was pick 2 numbers between 1 and 150. If both cases they picked had half a Hershey's Kiss, they'd win $100 million. Yeah, they all lost. The odds of winning this game are 1 in 11,175, which isn't quite as astronomical as some other lottery games, but I don't think watching all 3 couples lose shocked anybody to their core. But they all still walked away with $100,000, so that's nice. When they pivoted back to Erin's game, she took a deal for $60,000. When you're making a trivia show, it's critical that you do your due diligence. You need to make 1,000,000% sure you have the right answers to all your questions, and that they're not ambiguous in any way. $1 Million Money Drop is an American adaptation of a British quiz show, the £1 Million Drop. The show's first contestants were Gabe and Brittany. They made it to their 5th question with $880,000, out of the million they started with. The question asked, which of these was sold in stores first? The choices were Macintosh Computer, Sony Walkman, and Post-it notes. After some deliberation, Gabe and Brittany put $800,000 on Post-its and 80,000 on Walkman. The money on Post-its ended up dropping, and they lost over 90% of their remaining money just like that. The show ruled that Walkman was the correct answer. Viewers weren't so sure the question writers had this one right though. The Walkman was first sold in Japan in 1979, and according to the show's original research, Post-its were first sold in 1980. But in 1977, they were tested in stores in 4 US cities, under the name Press and Peel, before launching worldwide as Post-it notes in 1980. Originally, Fox doubled down, and said in a statement that Walkman was the right answer. But 2 days later, they said they received new information from 3M, and that Post-its was in fact right. So Gabe and Brittany were invited back to the show, but it was cancelled before they could try again. There is an argument to be made here that the whole thing is a moot point. On the final question, you have 2 choices, and you're required to put all your money on one answer. So you're basically forced to go all or nothing, and Gabe and Brittany picked the wrong answer for the final question. So they would have lost whether they had 20,000 or 880,000. But like I said at the start of the section, you have to be absolutely sure you've researched your questions thoroughly, and that all your answers are unambiguously right. Whether they would have won or not doesn't change the fact that they screwed up. Losing nearly $1 million in an instant is disheartening as all get out, so I think they made the right decision to offer them a second try. Most game shows will err on the side of giving contestants a second chance if something goes wrong, regardless of whether they actually got screwed over in the grand scheme of things. Since the show was cancelled so quickly, $1 Million Money Drop is best known for this controversy. And to make things even worse, the show's second pair of contestants plan on suing them for a similar reason. Patricia and Andrew lost all their money on the 6th question, which asks what the most common computer password is. Patricia and Andrew thought the answer was password, so they put all of their money on it and lost, since the answer they were looking for was 123456. The show's source was an Imperva survey, which came to that conclusion based on one hacking incident of a website called rockyou.com. So 123456 is the most common password isn't the objectively true statement the show made it out to be. If you consult other sources, you'll find the most common password varies from site to site, so basing a $500,000 question on the analysis of a single website just doesn't cut it. And that's really not what you want your legacy to be, the show that's known for penalizing right answers and relying on flimsy sources. If you're enjoying this video so far, subscribe to My Prize Garage. I've got a bunch more videos in the works, so be on the lookout for them. I've also got a gaming channel, Me Plays Games. At the moment, I mostly talk about Pokemon, so go check those videos out if that's your kind of thing. One of the most infamous categories on Wheel of Fortune was Mega Word. It made its debut in 1994, a couple weeks into season 12 of the syndicated show. Instead of a phrase with multiple words, you have to guess one long word, often something you'd have to know for the SAT, and they threw in a bunch of uncommon letters as well. Haphazardly, elasticized, juxtaposition, vacillating, rejuvenated, stuff like that. Words that would score you a million zillion points in Scrabble. At the end of the round, you got the chance to earn another $500 by using the word in a sentence. These puzzles were absolutely miserable to sit through, so it was axed after one season. But one of the worst mega words they had on the show was oxidized. Only 3 unique consonants in the whole puzzle, and 2 of them were X and Z. That was never gonna go well. It took 6 minutes for the contestants to solve that puzzle, and they called nearly every letter in the alphabet in the process. I'm not exaggerating either. They literally needed to call 23 out of 26 letters in this round. Pat Sajak and Vanna White both hated this category, and it seems like the producers got sick of it as well. After a while, they just stopped caring about the sentences. As long as your sentence made some vague sort of sense, they just give you the $500. Only one sentence was ever not accepted, and it was the contestants didn't know what the word proliferation meant. Every other time they said, you know what, whatever, that's good enough. When I'm hanging out with game show fans, we often joke about how hard some of the Wheel of Fortune bonus round puzzles are. Like, I wouldn't put it past them to use puzzles like Zimbabwean xylophone, or pregnant koala, or fixing the vacuum or some nonsense like that. But lo and behold, fellas, the mega word category is basically just as bad. Oh, what do you mean fixing the vacuum was an actual puzzle? My last video on this channel was about the history of Press Your Luck, and I wanted to talk a little bit about international versions of the show. But it was already a long video, so I decided against it. But today I thought it'd be fun to hop up to Germany, where they've made 2 versions of the show. In 1992, RTL Plus started airing a show called That, which translates to good luck on the trigger. Instead of the whammy, the show had its own mascot. If you landed on a vulture space, it would take away all your money. Similarly, another version of the show aired in 1999, and this one's name translates to Push Your Luck. This time the mascot is a shark. This show also featured a different type of space that never appeared in the US. One of the 16 spaces in the final round cut your money in half if you hit it. One other difference is the question rounds. In the US, you get 3 spins if you buzz in and get the answer right, then the host gives the other players a chance to earn 1 spin, with the right multiple choice answer. In Germany, you only got 2 spins for a right buzz in answer, and then 1 spin for a multiple choice answer stayed the same. On Countdown's number rounds, you're given 6 random numbers, some big, some small, and you have to use the 4 basic operations to reach a random target 3-digit number. The show held a Supreme Championship tournament in 1996, featuring previous top contestants. But it seems like Cecil didn't get the memo. And yep, they have a name for the number machine. Lovely. In the grand final, the first number round had a target of 917. 4 of the 6 numbers the finalists had to work with were 9, 110, and 7. I think you can guess how they worked it out. 9 times 100 plus 10 plus 7. Done. In the next number round, the target was 157. And these were the numbers. I'll give you 37.5 minutes to figure this one out. Wow, that was a short 37.5 minutes. Yeah, you just add these 4 numbers. The number rounds usually aren't this easy, so getting 2 borderline trivial ones in the show's biggest tournament is really something. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Leave a comment with any game show facts you'd like to see me cover. I'll see you all next time. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.